All right. I actually got this last night, but I'm here today. Today's what, like, what's today? Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. So this came in Tuesday. I'm actually going to put a picture of, like, all the other stuff, because I took a picture of all the stuff
just show what I got too, because it's just to prove.
Okay. I'm going to say what I paid. I'm not going to say what you paid. Okay. It was a combined deal. My share was 110. AJ mostly got window dressing and a few games.
Just show this really quick. This is going in the window right now.
Yeah, empty. Just empty. Empty. All right. Oh, this is pretty neat, except as you can see, if these were boobs, this would be halfway through a boob operation. It's like, okay, this one looks pretty good on this side, but this side needs the lift.
Well, where did I smoke a cigarette right from my car?
I don't know. People. Anyway. Oh, and then you got this. Are you putting this? Oh, sure. Okay, hold on. Oops. I keep forgetting I banged my toe. Anyway, so every time I squat down, I lean on my boo-boo toe. Alright, here's some of the games that were part of what AJ bought. Wizardry, PS2, not familiar. WrestleMania. Loose Disc, YS Arc of Nafitiz something. I think I've had that one. And Killer Instinct for Xbox One. Alright. Alright, so 110. Now, this lot was really weird. What happened? Oh, yeah. Well, the good thing is you get to pick it up. Gives you something to do. Everything falls, you get to pick it up. Alright, so besides the consoles, I don't really think anything in here is worth more than $10, but I'm just going to go through it anyway. Slide this out of the way. I got a Sega Genesis console. I normally get like $25 for these, sometimes 30 with games. I got 2 of those. I don't know why I took this. This is probably an AC adapter for the Sega Genesis 1. Controller. Now, honestly, there's nothing too great here, but I think overall it's a decent deal. I think there's a possibility that this stuff was looked at Cherry Pick before, because the seller actually brought in 3 buckets of games, and I swear to God, I've never seen so many sports games in my life. Like every console, and I don't think they were repeats, so it's possible the guy actually played them all. But that's a power supply. All right. A random Super Nintendo controller. Of course, no console. That's why I'm saying there's a possibility that this lot might have been picked through. Okay, these look like just power cables. Okay, 110. Just more cables. This is hook up a Game Boy Advance to a GameCube. I don't really know what this does. Wii cable. Some more cables. These look like these cables belong to the PS2s. There should be 4 cables in here because, well, no, at least 3. It looks like there's more. Okay. I don't know what this is. Maybe it's a memory thing or something? It looks like it's for the 64. Any guns? These really have no value. I got a PSP adapter. That's good, because Daisy needs that. Bring it home for the kid. I've never seen these before. I don't know what they are. They're some kind of like, I got a feeling maybe you could use different controllers? Like maybe a GameCube fits here? I've never seen this before. Let's see what it says on the back. Game elements. All right, it tells me nothing. It looks like it's some kind of adapter for, I guess, a PS2. So you can use different controllers. Looks like this PS2 controller will be all right, and passes the rattle test. Another PS2 controller. I think I'm going to be good on those for a little bit. Yeah. All right, stop by again. And we always get new stuff in all the time. As you can see, I'm going through some right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know.
I got to test this stuff though, so you know.
I kind of been sitting on a New York Comic Con Godzilla exclusive.
We have a guy that likes that stuff big time,
right.
so yeah, we do.
Yes, I got that from 2012.
Okay.
Was the one. I was like, oh, you never know.
Never know. Yeah, definitely. If you don't want to carry it, take some pictures first.
Well, it's boxed about you.
Okay, no big deal.
Comic Con exclusive. It wasn't like a huge one or anything like that. But I know it's definitely. Well, no, it's Comic Con exclusive.
Yeah.
You know, I got
Nice.
two of them,
I wish I was going to Comic Con. I haven't been able to go though. It's too hard for me to get the tickets. A little dirty, but.
I stopped going. Like I still get.
A lot of us did.
You know, but it was I don't know. It got too jumbled.
It became too hard to get the tickets.
Well, I have no problem getting tickets because since I'm in
like 3 days and stuff.
Well, not 3 days. I usually go. I was always going for 1 day.
I can never get the day I wanted. You know, I just.
Well, yeah, they call. We get.
Did you go on the queue?
Yeah. Well, when you already buy tickets and everything, usually they give you a. Preemptive, pass.
So you always get a ticket kind of, but you don't know what you're going to get. Yeah, all right.
But it was just like, I was tired of getting sick all the time.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it is an event. It's like if people don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
You're mixed in with like I think like maybe, I would say at the very least tens of thousands of people just in this small little place. And you just shuffle your feet like through the whole thing. It's like,
that's why it was like almost like, well, I prefer to go on Thursday now.
Thursday or Sunday. Thursday's probably the best.
Yeah, but it was nice. It was kind of cool. Well, years ago.
Yeah. Well, it's more. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you went to one of the other ones in one of the other states, it might not be.
Well, yeah, New York Comic Con's just way too packed now.
Yeah, there's just when you went, did you wait on the line like on the outside and stuff to get in?
No,
I did.
Well,
you just went late. You didn't want to get in early.
Which day I went like through the Saturdays. I went there a couple years. I went there and I waited in the queue. Where you get there at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I never got there that early, but we did go early one time, like before they were open, and the line was like around the block and down. It was crazy.
It was definitely crazy. Yeah. I've been through that one, and then I was like, I found out. Well, if I show up 10 minutes after they open, you just walk right in.
Yeah, that's what I found out too.
And then it was just like,
I don't know. Well, probably because people want to go and grab a bunch of free stuff or something. I don't really know.
Well, yeah, I enjoyed getting free stuff too. That was awesome. And then it even became even harder to even try and get any of the exclusives.
Yeah.
It was like, you go in there and then each place would have their lines and everything, and like you wouldn't even get the exclusives you wanted anymore. And it was like, this isn't even worth it.
I think.
I wait a year or two,
I think if you just go to look at stuff and meet people and see things and see that's the fun of it. But
I got to meet Stan Lee. That was cool.
Before he died.
And I didn't have to. I never got.
Did you actually like talk to him or anything?
No, I had talked to him briefly. I was because they were all walking through very briefly. Hey, how's it going? Oh, nice to meet you. That was about it.
It's me. I love you.
I love you. I didn't get like a whole thing where I get to talk to him a long time, but it was nice to meet him.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
And not have to pay $100.
I mean, he's the guy behind it all.
Yeah. Well, I go behind most of it.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Well, he was the face, right?
He was the face.
He's like Steve Jobs.
Yeah, it was like, there's a lot more people behind him, that were doing a lot too.
Obviously.
He gets all the credit for it because he was like, he's the one that kind of...
Round one, right?
Kind of sold out.
Yeah.
He definitely kind of sold out.
Well, you know what happens when money starts getting involved.
Yeah, because everybody else kind of like... was like, no. I was like, we don't want to take the sham deal. And he was like, oh no, I'm gonna take the sham deal. I go, and everybody knows it's Stan Lee, but
yeah, when you see big money, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you feel about Disney owning Marvel now?
I kind of like the idea of like, well, Disney owns everything.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, I think
that bothers me a little bit. It's like,
it can definitely bother you a little bit. But everybody, in general, I'm like, most of the other companies anyway are all owned by the same people anyway. They just don't talk about it. They're like, Disney owns everything. I'm like, but there's like a handful of people that own everything.
Yeah, so true. So true.
So it's it's kind of like, what's the norm and everything, you know.
That's how it's going now. You know, it's like we don't even know. I read somewhere that I know it's more than 50% of all internet transactions go through Amazon now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Or in some way. I don't know exactly the number. It seemed.
They own PayPal?
No, PayPal's by itself. eBay used to own PayPal.
eBay used to own PayPal.
Yeah, but they separated. I think they bought them early, but what happened was PayPal stock was doing so well that eBay stock was bringing it down. so they separated. This was some years back, and now eBay and PayPal are even separating themselves even more.
Mm-hmm. The fees going up. That's why I stopped selling them.
Oh yeah. Also, it's not even the fees, because if you could always sell everything and they wanted to charge whatever, if you always sold it, it didn't matter, you know. But if you sell it and people are scamming you and you're doing all this extra work and it's not even selling for that much, it's like, eh. I still do eBay though. I'm stuck.
Sort of as like, do you guys? I used to sell a lot of Marvel stuff, so I currently have lots of hoodies and T-shirts in my basement.
You could bring that stuff in.
You know, I'll sell them to you what I pay for them, because I'm not selling on eBay anymore.
If there's a chance that there's money to be made, we definitely have a guy that likes toys and stuff like that.
Well, this is mainly, I was selling a lot of clothes and hoodies, like costume hoodies.
Okay.
So I have, you know, I think I had like a whole bunch of Iron Mans, I had some Wolverines.
Anything you feel like parting with, just bring in.
I was like, oh, maybe I should win.
And either, you know.
Get rid of these things,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, if you're not using them.
Well, like I said, we stopped selling on eBay. It was like, it was too time.
It really becomes your life.
Yeah.
Do you work otherwise, or?
Well, yeah, I do air conditioning, so.
Okay, so it's just.
I ended up getting better work. My wife got better work. That was kind of.
If you're working, you don't need to do eBay.
Yeah, we were ended up.
Unless you're selling really high-end stuff.
Yeah, I was like, well, yeah, I did sell some decent stuff, but, you know.
That's you know what that is? If you get it every once in a while, then you could do it in your spare time, you know.
Yeah.
But if you're selling a lot of BS crap all the time, you know,
right?
Just to build it up, then yeah.
So do you know about have you been to the Middlelands Flea Market?
Oh, plenty of times. I used to sell there for a long time.
So you know of the Marvel guy, right?
The Marvel guy, not specifically, because I haven't been shopping there. Is he new?
No, he's been doing this for years.
Okay.
You know, and he you know,
I sold at the Meadowlands for maybe 6 years
right.
straight, but I sold at there for a period of 20-something years, and now I sell there maybe a few times during the winter.
Right.
And I used to never love the Meadowlands, but I liked it. It was very convenient to me. But the guy that took over just made it very expensive,
Right.
and then he won't let you have a tent, and then they kind of play. It's just. I don't need somebody micromanaging me. That's why I'm like, oh, okay, you want to be my boss? I don't need a boss. I'll just do my own thing, you know.
Right.
And here we are. Do a store instead.
Awesome.
He's part of the stuff that motivated me to just do stuff other than sell at his flea market. It is a really good flea market, though, if you like to shop.
Well,
There's a lot of good stuff
I made
there.
a lot of money out of that flea market. Found a lot of, it's been years since I've did it, you know, but I used to end up going down there like 6 o'clock and fighting all the sharks down there.
Yeah, it's very competitive, you know,
Yeah,
and
definitely is.
you'd be surprised at what it's like now, too.
Well,
He can tell you.
It was crazy down there.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
But it's now even the sellers are very savvy. They're like, well, you won't pay my price. If it's good, I'll put it on eBay myself.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame them, because with the rent being what it is, and if you do the monthly, there's no guarantee. You can lose your money. But it's just like...
I lost a whole month one time.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Well, if you do take the monthly, you're rolling the dice. There's no guarantee. So if it rains or snows every single time, you know, you're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
There was one year... Oh, well, back in the day, like when I was doing it more, in the winter when it was like bitter, freezing cold, just to keep vendors coming to the market, he would, you pay for a month, you get a month. Or sometimes 2 months, right? They don't do that anymore.
Go down there, and then I was all about it, because I was like, oh, nobody's going down here, so
Yeah.
I'm getting amazing deals.
Well, that's like Englishtown. Englishtown was getting Englishtown's been getting killed. We even tried to be in Englishtown, and it just was like...
They tried to?
No, I did.
Oh.
We tried to do something there. We said, you know what? Let's switch it up. We even took a booth in Englishtown, and we said, let's see what happens. But part of it was too far, but it was the same thing. There just weren't people that were willing to spend anything. You know, the people. I mean, I don't know if they didn't have any money or if the area was depressed. or maybe just the right crowd wasn't coming there anymore. But we didn't like it. It wasn't good. We would travel a long way, and then we would try and shop. And the people that were already established shoppers there, it's like you're getting fights with them over stuff. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, it was definitely
I figured I might
definitely instant greed going there early in the morning.
Yeah, I figured, why am I driving so far to fight with other buyers? I can do it right here. It's the Meadowlands. Yeah, I got to get up extra early.
Yeah. I was like, I enjoyed it.
No, I like doing it.
I enjoyed the hunt.
My favorite part is shopping. I love yard sales the best.
I enjoyed the hunt before it got overran by these people who want to fight it.
Yeah.
Well, you got to be ready to stand your ground and everything, you know. And then you grab something.
You do.
You gotta know the ins and outs.
The other problem is so.
If everybody's going one way, you see all the sharks going
Wait a
one way,
minute.
you go down the other way.
What do I say? I say if they go this way, I go that way.
Yeah. I was like,
because they're getting it.
You get to know them.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, I've had people be like, oh, I'll give you this amount for it. And I'm like, really, motherfucker? That's why I was like, I would end
we had
up
that too.
That, and I'd be like, oh, I'll take 2 of these things. That way I cover up the one thing I had, so the guy next to me is not going to like, look, what do you got?
I'll tell you, one time I'm looking at a box of records, and this is how like annoying some of these guys are, right? So I'm looking at a box of records, and they're all BS. They weren't in great shape. Some of them had water damage, right? But the lady was like, those are just $1 a piece. So I'm like, okay. And I was like, if the record's clean, I don't care. I'll get it, right? But then I got this. So I'm looking at it this way, right, forward. So as I'm looking at it, some guy who wants to see what I'm looking at before I see it starts going from the other direction. I'm like, motherfucker, right? So now I go, okay, from now on, whenever I look at records, I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to start from the back, and I'm going to flip them this way. Because if that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do.
That's an extremely quick move right there.
Well, you figure it out right away. I'm like, dude, can I? But I said, you know what? I already knew they were all BS. Right. So I was like, I'm not going to waste my time arguing with this. I've almost been out in fights over stupid crap like CDs and whatever. And then I'm like, you know what? This is stupid crap. I'm going to fight over like a $2 CD. Yeah, no, you know what? It goes in cycles. Everybody, when something becomes valuable, then everybody gets bad. Like video games are easy to sell, light to ship, but and there's some of them are worth money, right? So everybody will fight over that. But it's the same. If you like military stuff, if you like tools, if you like jewelry, if you whatever it is,
there's people in the whole scenario.
Yeah, like paintings or anything, whatever they're buying. If you get in their way, or if you're both going for something that's really good at the same time. I mean, just imagine, like, you probably don't know what rookwood pottery is, right?
Which one?
Rookwood. So it can be a very valuable pottery. 2 potters come along, they see the vase on the shelf. You know they're going to beeline to grab it, or on the shelf or on the table,
Right.
So it's like you can have fights over anything, really. Right. Like the dumbest stuff. You're like, are those guys fighting over a vase?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And they're like,
brawling over,
I get it, in some ways it's the excitement of it all,
Yeah.
I was like, finding that fight and hopefully winning it.
Yeah. I always felt that, like,
I tried to be incognito about the whole scenario.
That's your best bet.
You don't want to attract people over there that are fighting for it because then you don't get a good deal.
Now, you're better off. Well, that's what they say. A lot of people have been ruining it because, all right, back a few years ago, some of the vendors, some of the buyers at places like the Meadowlands or English Town or whatever, if someone had a box of games and someone came up and they said, you can have the box for $100, right? So you got the box. But then you have somebody come behind it, I'll give you $150 for it. So now you have an auction. And when you do that in front of a vendor, the vendor's like, hey, what's going on? Yeah. These are just video. Why are those guys fighting for that? Yeah. I better start checking these out, looking at. And that's part of what happened. I swear to God, when we go to the Meadowlands now, like, you'll see, okay, like when you're a vendor, and certain people buy stuff, you put it on the front seat of your car, or somewhere where it's real access to. So back in the day, it would be jewelry, it would be certain types of glass, it would be military stuff. Right. Depending on what part of the country, it could be guns or swords or knives or whatever, right? But now it's like video games, And the guy will put it out, and in the morning, you'll go, what do you want for these video games? I'm selling everything for like $800. And you're like, okay. So you'll go and look for a second, and you go, yeah, that's about $700 worth of stuff here, Like, that's where you go, I could pay all the money. And maybe in a year, after a lot of hard work, I'll get my money back. Like that. I've had a lot of people doing that, those deals. So you just go, okay, no problem. I pass. And then by the end of the day, sometimes the price goes way down. You've seen that happen a lot of times, right?
Yeah, but it's like.
I mean, unless somebody's willing to just to go for it,
Right.
just so somebody else doesn't get it or something like that, you know?
Yeah, but $800, like, it'd have to be a pretty big bunch.
I don't know. It depends on what it is. AJ, we've seen that, right? Where they just ask like an insane amount for like.
A box of video games?
Sure.
I guess depending on the video
Well,
game,
it could be like if the boxes were sealed. I had one guy one time.
But then you also have to worry about it. If this stuff's been sitting out in a parking lot in a hot summer, you get home.
Well, some
that
stuff,
gets a little
if they
wavy.
price it right, you never even knew it was there. It's gone before, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's like,
Okay.
you can come in.
Hi. Quick question. Do you guys buy, skateboards?
Not really. You guys trying to get rid of a bunch of skateboards?
Just one.
Okay. It's like, they don't sell for much, so, you know, it'd have to be a really... Yeah, I don't know. Thank you, though. It's like skateboards, if they're big, I don't know. I try and say I got two behind there. They're annoying.
I don't know.
No, skateboards can sell for like 10 and up. You know what I mean? So.
It was like for depending on what kind of skateboard.
Yeah, I mean, if she wanted to bring it in, I just.
Hey, technically, if you knew, some of the trucks on the bottom are worth money.
You mean like Hess stuff and things like that?
No, the trucks are the.
Oh, the wheels. Yeah.
Depending on if those were those.
Yeah, it's like weird though. I mean, no, I know she is. I know she was. So I don't know why she's trying to sell us a big skateboard, but whatever. This is interesting. Did you ever check this or anything? Or I'll check it. It's probably worth $5. Yeah, definitely. HD loader. These are just weird random stuff. And then a Tony Hawk's Underground. I don't know. I don't think anything here was worth more than $10. But there it is. I showed our big cherry pick find, and at the end of the video, or right after this, I'm going to show the huge pile that we went through to get this. Other than that, I'm going to test this stuff today, and hopefully everything works. All right, let me get to work. What? Yeah, I'm going to test this. Are those worth money?
Yeah, the PS2 ones.
Are they worth good money?
They're okay, but they work.
All right, I'm going to put them here so I don't mix them up. All right. Okay, I'm going to test the first console out. One of the first things you do when you test a console out is you see if there's a game inside. Not this time. I have two more. We get these all the time. Not all the time, but fairly often. What they almost never have inside, besides the network adapter, is a hard drive. This one has a hard drive. So let me just... I don't think I can just pop it out. I should have... Hold on. Let me see if I can just drop it out if I can. Oh, look at that. There it is. You want to see it? That's what it looks like. What do you think?
This is how they all look?
I don't know. Maybe it's just not a... Maybe it's not a PS2 hard drive. It says Max Tour. And he wrote PS2.
Yeah.
You think it has like games on it?
I don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna put it in and try.
The PS2's modded.
Yeah, maybe it is. I'm gonna check. I've never had a modded PS2, so this would be exciting. This is the PS2 that has a hard drive in it. Now, I've had like one or two PS2s with hard drives in them before. I've never had one that's modded, and I don't know if this one will be, because it doesn't really look like a PS2 hard drive that's in there. I put the actual memory cards that were there to begin with, I put those back, because they might have something to do with it. If you need them to play it a certain way, they came with that, so I don't know. I'm just putting everything back the way I found it. But this was opened, so maybe it could be modded. We're going to find out in a second. We'll just see. Okay, two things are going to happen right now. I'm going to first press the eject button. You know what, I'll just press the power button. And we'll see if there's a game in here already, or we'll see if it's modded or anything. Alright, let's see. I'm not really good at crossing my fingers, but... Okay. Anything? Yes. Yeah, doesn't look like anything special. Oh well. I guess I'll just take the hard drive out. I wish let's see if I can access the hard drive. Let's see. Let me go back. Browser. Okay, it's showing memory stick 1 and 2. Okay. Okay, it reads the memory card. Yeah, it's weird. It's like, I can't, it doesn't look like the hard drive does anything. Yeah. Alright, let me turn this off. See, this one's reading just slow, so I'm going to recheck that. I took the hard drive out. It doesn't seem to do anything. I might try the hard drive in here, but let's just see. Let me open it up. Oh, okay. Street. I think we were missing this somewhere. Actually, this is good. The blue ones are good to check. To see if it works. So that's good. Alright. I figured it out. This PS2 is probably beat. It takes a really long time to read games, and it would not read this disc, which came from, this is the HD loader, which came from this case. I thought this was interesting. And here's the instructions. I'm actually working my way through the instructions now. What you can do with this software and the hard drive in there is you can take a game. Right now I'm doing Pac-Man World 2, doing this game, and you can install it on the hard drive. Now, this doesn't have a very large library right now. I guess they did it for a few games. Maybe they didn't have a lot of games. But the reason you would want to use a hard drive rather than the Laserdisc is it reads it much faster. You know? So anyway, what's happening now is I'm installing the Pac-Man 2 World game. I've never had anything like this before, so this is actually pretty cool. I don't think it'll make this worth $1 million or anything, but this is, like I said, I've never had it before. It's unusual for me to have something like this. It's unusual. I'll have to decide what to do with it. I don't know if I can sell it on eBay, but whatever. So anyway, I've got a way to take a disc and put it in a hard drive, so I don't have to have a library of games around. I don't think it's exactly like a modded PS2 or anything. It's just the software makes it record games. What I'll do is I'll show what games are on this after it's done installing. It's taking a little while. It's only at 25% right now. So I'll come back and I'll show what games are on there already, including the Pac-Man game that I'm loading now. I showed this before I loaded the game, but what happened was a message that said the installation is complete came up. I selected that, clicked OK, and there it is, Pac-Man World 2. Right now it only has 6 games on it, but the hard drive's like hard drive size 37 gigabytes, hard drive free 17 gigabytes. Oh, so that game size was 3 gigabytes. That's actually surprising to me. So I guess this hard drive that can't hold a real lot of games. Pac-Man 2 is only 1 gigabyte. Spider-Man 2, 3 gigabytes. Need for Speed Underground, 2 gigabytes. Medal of Honor EA, 3 gigabytes. Finding Nemo. I know how to free up 2 gigabytes right away. Ace Combat 4, 3 gigabytes. I don't know, it's pretty cool. I just need a better game list. And probably a bigger hard drive would be nice, but I've never had it before. It's actually, like I said, never had it before. I really find it pretty cool. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop back.
Out of the 3 PS2s, this one's beat, which happens. It would have kind of really hurt me in the pocket, but I got lucky. This could be good. I gotta check that. It should be worth at least $20. But the other PS2, well, which I showed before this, it's not modded. It just has a hard drive in it, and that disc that I showed, the PS2 disc loader or the hard drive loader, you can use it to load a bunch of games. The bigger the hard drive, the more games. So that'll help. I'm just not sure on value yet, but I'm assuming a regular PS2, say $35. The disc is $25, so it's like I guess 60. The hard drive and the other thing maybe another $20. It's probably worth about $80 to $100 for the other PS2. All right. Anyway, one beat so far, not too bad. So far, the games have been good though. Small pickup, nothing exciting. It's not a pickup. Someone brought it into the store, traded in. Xbox controller, did not pay a lot. Nothing very exciting here. These are games I will sell at the flea markets. $3, some $2. I might stop buying these soon. I'll have to see. Exclusive Batsuit armor. Arkham City, Grand Theft Auto 4. If I'm wrong about any of the games being worth more than a few dollars, I paid $12 for everything, so the guy was like, "Oh, I didn't even expect to get that much." I'm like, "Yeah." Bad power button, so I'm not going to sell this. I might save it for testing. And this controller's beat. The cables are good though. So otherwise, most of the stuff in that bucket was pretty good. Everything I tested seemed to work. I mean, fortunately, there were a couple of good things in there. Nothing too amazing, but so overall, I think it was fine.